So I've got 8:01, which means it's time to start Zoom and Tell. So thank you everyone for joining us this evening. It's always a pleasure to see all the Zoomies, as I like to call you, the Cambridge Zoomies. So it's good to see everyone tonight. Before we start, I'll see if David has anything to add before we start, David.
Well, I don't know that I have a lot to add before Gwinnell starts our program, but it's always good to see everyone. And I'm looking forward to the program this weekend on Rock Crystal, which is always fun to get together with people. And I think we're going to have about 50 people in Cambridge for that event this weekend. So I want to just say thanks in advance for Gwinnell for sharing her cream and sugar collection with us this evening, or at least a part of it, not all of it. But I hope that everyone enjoys it, and I'm sure there'll be questions and lots of show and tell at the end. So that's all I've got. Joy, I can talk a little bit at the end about upcoming programs.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, without further ado, Gwinnell, we're going to let you take it away. Before we start, I'm going to mute everyone, which means, Gwinnell, you'll need to unmute yourself to begin your program.
All right, I will need to share my screen.
Okay, you should be able to share it. Let me make sure I got it. Oh, I don't want to share my screen. Okay, try it now. Perfect.
I need to reduce that, get that out of the way. Okay. There we go. All right. Cambridge Sugar and Creams. And here we go. I'm starting at the most recent one that I've got. Well, most recent in production. And it's a Sonata, and it's got the Radiant Rose on it. And the square, and this is the individual set. It did come on a tray or without. Cascade. And it also came on a tray with and without. Going backwards in time. Corinth was published or produced before that. And it also had the same tray with the Cascade. They used their trays with several different lines. And we got the Maryland cut on one set. We got the plain set in individual as well as the full-size set on the tray. I found it interesting that it was called Coronet before they changed the name to Corinth. Before that was Martha. It was very popular with the Chantilly etch, the individual as well as the full size. And they used both trays. They used this oval tray that was also a celery tray, as well as the other tray they used with the Corinth. Virginia was also known as Martha Washington and Centennial. Pristine had a wide variety of creamers and sugars. Actually, they were called creams, not creamers. We call them creamers. Cream. Had the full size, the individual. The 253, I know, is a Cambridge because it's got the magnolia etch on it. They also had it sent out for the silver. Then the little tiny set, the 250, a very delicate set. Seashell. Caprice. Most of everybody knows the Caprice. There's got the large set in Moonlight Alpine. Got the Mocha, Pistachio, Amethyst. the individual size, the mulberry. It was only done in 3 sizes. And I'm thinking that's most all the colors it was produced in. The trays they issued, got the large tray that was also a pickle tray, then the 6-inch tray, and the little small, I call it a donut tray. And it's harder to find. But similar to Caprice, we had New Martinsville, the Queen Anne. It came out a little bit later than Caprice. Hayden City came out with Largo. Tiffin came out with Velva. Both of those a couple of years after Caprice. And then the Japanese set has shown up. Have no idea when it was produced, but it is definitely different than the Caprice, but has a similar pattern to it. Gadroon in the large size and the small, in variety of colors with the individuals. Also in Gadroon, we had Hayden City issued a Gadroon, but it came out a little bit after Cambridge produced theirs. Nautilus and Carmen and Royal Blue. Amethyst in the Tally Ho. Mount Vernon. Carmen, as well as the individual set in the crystal. Roundware came out in the 1930. Some of the pieces were continued into the pristine line. Had the decal ware, Dresden Rose etch, the Florentine etch, they also issued it with a tray, the small 9.5 inch. This tray was also used in the Decagon line later or earlier. 3400 came out with several varieties. We've got the ball set, the 98, got the 16, got the 68, got Lily of the Valley creamer, as well as a candlelight cut in the creamer. Everglade also matched the leaf line. And I believe this is Willow Blue. They also had the one with the footed. And that's out of the catalog that's posted on the website. Modern came out in 1929. It had 2 sizes on it, the individuals as well as the full size. I believe there was also a motel set that was a little heavier, but I have not seen that one. Georgian was not produced in a cream or sugar for Cambridge, but Georgian was issued with Fenton, as well as Duncan Miller. And I think some other companies also produced a Georgian, but Cambridge never did produce one. Decagon. This is the 1076, which is the taller set, the redesigned. In 1932. Just before that, in 1931, you've got the Style 2. It's got 1 bump on the handle. I do not have one that's etched. I have a couple that are cut. And the first one that came out in that design was the Style 1 with the 2 bumps on the handle. And I've got etches and cuttings on that. Cleo was very popular with the Decagon. Also got the 2 birds. And there's the sizes between the 3, Style 1, Style 2, and the redesigned, the 1076. Also similar to that, Duncan and Miller had a set, the Maxine. Hayden City came out with one. It's substantially larger. and it's quite heavier than the Cambridge Decagon. Diamond Victory also produced one. All of these came out after Cambridge produced theirs. And there's probably others out there. The pattern and the shape was very popular. Also in Decagon, you got the round set, or the bulb set, some people call it. The tulip set, some people call. And I've got a cutting on one, the green set, that I have no idea what the cutting is. And then you've got the shaker sugar, as well as the tall creamer. And it was issued with that tray from Pristine. Other trays in the Decagon, got the handled tray, and then the small donut style, the 1215. I think it looks more like 3400 than Decagon, but that's what they issued it with. And they issued all three different styles of the 1076 and 1096. Also Decagon got the 979 etch, and then Imperial produced Molly, which was very similar. I think Duncan and Miller also issued one, but I don't have that. It's similar. Open stock was a very wide variety of sugar and creams. On the right, you've got the individuals, the 966. Down at the bottom, you've got the Willow in the 961, the 941, 943, which was also listed with a lid, but they also listed it separate without an open. Then the Aero Optic, kind of hard to get a picture of that. Continuing the open, Freeman sent in some pictures. He's got the amber one down below. I've got a pink one up above, as well as the green with the etch around the rim. Was interesting on the sugar, you can see where the etch is. On the creamer, it's hard to see the etch. It's up just underneath the lip. Also in the open, got the 960. And the tray is a little different from Decagon. Lexington. And this is the berry set that I've got on the left. And then the catalog shows that it was issued in the full size. It's on the right. It had a lid with it. The general line, the popular 1917, or actually it was also had a number as 134, as well as a 20. Got Azurite, Aurora, Light Emerald. Then into the early years, the near cut era, these are the children's sets. They also came with a covered butter as well as a spoon, or spooner, some people call. The blue one's kind of hard to see the pattern, but Freeman sent in a picture with the crystal set for Fernland. Sweetheart on the left, I could not find a catalog listing for it, but it is in the picture file, the photo file. It's also listed a similar pattern with the US glass, and they called it Heart Plume. You can see it on the early American Press Glass website. Then also near cut, you've got Daisy, and this is a picture out of the Sears catalog from 1911. And then a blow up of that section, you can see the Archfoot creamer or cream and the sugar, the handle. They also had it as a round, but these two show the oval. Later, I found a letter, a circular that came out that said they were redesigning some of those pieces, and that oval covered sugar and the oval cream were two of the ones that were redesigned. And there's the daisy on the left with the arch foot. I can understand why they redesigned it because the one I've got has a pretty good chip out of the foot on the cream. Then on the right, you've got the oval. This was redesigned. And then Freeman sent in the round set that's down on the bottom. Freeman also contributed the feather, sunburst, the cut wild rose. These are all full size. The 4200, one is cut and the other is not cut. Guernsey. These are Freeman's again. Also from Freeman is the Star, Stratford, 2729, and Dorothy. Marjorie had 3 designs. They had the individual that's on the left, the full size on the right from Freeman, and then the catalog shows the berry set that's down on the bottom. And Chelsea ware, I don't have any of, but there were a wide variety of Chelsea. One thing that came up when I was looking at a bunch of them, I understand berry is a little shorter than your full size, but then I saw matinee covered creamer, matinee sugar, matinee cream. So I've got a question, why is it a matinee? Then they also had an English footed. And that's all that I have that I'm sharing. It's not all that I have total, but all I got pictures of.
Well, that is spectacular. That's all I can say. And now I'm thinking, okay, how many creamers and sugars do I have? So out of curiosity, which pattern, in your opinion, has the most different types of creamers and sugars? Is it an etched pattern? Is it a plain wear? Is it a decal wear? What seems to have the most, styles or differences?
Probably the etch. And I have lost video for you all.
You have lost video. Okay.
I do not see you anymore.
Okay, I think if you stop sharing.
Oh, I don't think I did that. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Last step.
Excellent. Well, I am just astounded because I had no idea that there were that many different sugars and that many different trays. And now I'm asking myself, what on that donut tray, you showed one that was frosted or satined.
Yes.
Did it come in plain crystal?
Yes. And it came in moonlight. I'm looking for the alpine blue.
Okay.
Moonlight.
So when we saw that tray, did it come in any etches at all?
I have not seen any etches on it.
Okay.
It could have, but I have not seen any.
Okay.
Now the tall decagon tray, I've got a blue one that's got cutting around the base, which is not a very big cutting, but just a little slight cut, like a leaf etch all the way around the edge.
Okay.
I have not seen any etches on it.
Well, that was impressive. And I like how you showed the differences in some of the other, as Les said, are you going to be showing something other than Cambridge? So it was very interesting to me that we didn't have a Georgian line, but everybody else had a Georgian line. So it's kind of interesting how that all played out. So I'm going to stop talking. Does anybody have any questions for Gwinnell? I want to thank her so much. I think that was an excellent presentation. Any questions for Gwinnell?
Well, we have some.
We do.
Okay.
Gwinnell, how did I guess you're a creamer and sugar collector, is that true?
Yes.
How do you
Increase.
limit the Cambridge ones? Do you have one of every etch? How do you decide what's in the sugar and creamer collection?
Well, usually when I see something that's priced low, or it's something different, or it's unique, I started out with just little bitty ones, just the little small individuals, and I've got a bunch of porcelain as well that are foreign made, and but then I started looking at the Cambridge where they were little, as well as the Heisey. And then started like, oh, wait a minute, I like that pattern, but it didn't come in a little one. It came in a big one, so I'll have to get that one. But just looking at whenever I can see something that's different and unique and something I don't have.
So do you have all the you would collect any Cambridge sugar and creamer with an etch that if you didn't have it? So you have all the etches?
Possibly. I've got several of the small individual in Rose Point. Got the Candlelight, got Elaine. Most of them are on the Corinth or the 3400.
So any etch that you don't have, you're looking for, I guess.
Yeah, I've started looking more for the etch that's not as known as the others, like the Candlelight and the numbered etches.
Got it.
Gwinnell, what's your count on number of sets?
Cambridge is well over 100. Altogether, I'm pushing probably 200 to 300 total, or thereabouts.
And how do you display them?
I've got them in cabinets all over the house. Let's see. Can you see that?
Yeah, sure can.
And I think this one is Cambridge. And these are all individuals in this cabinet. And some are gold etched, some are plain. And then I've got a lot of Fostoria over here. I've got a big cabinet, the Duncan and a Tiffin. So they're just kind of scattered around the house and mixed up with everything else.
Lisa has a question for you here.
Okay.
Hi, Gwinnell.
Hello.
First of all, just like a totally fabulous collection. Have you ever seen a creamer and sugar in Crown Tuscan?
No, and I am looking to see if there is one.
Okay, the elusive Crown Tuscan. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Gwinnell? So the other question, I saw you had a King Edward silver-based one.
Yes.
Do you have, like, I know Chantilly came on 2 or 3 different bases. Do you collect all the different ones that have the different silver designs as well?
No. I got the King Edward because it was different. And I wasn't sure. And it was a small set. And it was a shape I didn't have.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Interesting. Does anybody have the answer for Gwinnell about the matinee and why it was called the matinee? Guess we'll have to go record shopping to find out what we see in the records. Yeah, I didn't know anything.
English, I can understand, came probably from Bennett. And most of the ones that I saw listed were the tall footed. But there were others that were called footed in the same catalog. but it looked like that most of them had a stem on them of some sort,
Okay.
a short stem. But that was a question too, just the English. But I kind of figured that came out of him.
All right. Well, all I can say is thank you so much for putting that together. That was an awful lot of work, obviously, and you spent a great deal of time. So I think all of us really appreciate it. And I know that I have become a little more familiar with creamers and sugars, and I had no idea that there were that many different styles. But you've done an excellent job going. I like how you went chronologically backwards to go clear back to the 1927. So very interesting. So
1910,
well, 1910, yes, thank you for my correction. But yeah, that was fabulous. So what is your favorite set out of all the sets that you have? What is, if you had to pick one, which one would it be?
Oh, that would be hard. I think the hardest one to replace would be the Archfoot Daisy. Because it was only out for maybe a year and a half before they redesigned it. But I don't know. I've got a heather bloom that I like in 3400. I'm looking for the sugar for the candlelight cut. And that's a pretty neat one to get. Because that's unusual to see.
Yes. Well, fabulous. Well, thank you again.
Hard to pick a favorite.
Yeah, I know. I struggle to figure out what I would take with me. So thank you again for that presentation. And I think we'll go on to the show and tell portion. Before we begin, does anybody have any other questions for Gwinnell?
I have a question. You showed the different sizes in the Caprice and the different colors, and I happen to have just the clear Caprice. Was that common, or it's I guess what you would call the individual?
The individual, it's pretty common for Cambridge. They produce that quite a bit, but Imperial also produced them in crystal, and there's not much way to tell the difference between them. But yeah, that's one I didn't pull out to show. I should have, but I didn't.
Now, Imperial did they not mark theirs?
No.
For some reason, when I got married 47 years ago, I got tons of different pieces of pressed glass, and a lot was the Imperial, and it had the mark on the bottom.
They did not mark the Caprice that I can tell.
Okay.
Now, Summit produced some later in maybe the late 60s, early 70s, maybe into the 80s. And some of them, but not all of them, have a little tiny dot on them. But they did a color that was real similar to Moonlight. And then they've done some odd colors too. You've seen Vaseline out there. It's pretty common. A couple of strange cobalt colors that Cambridge did not produce.
Okay.
But the Moonlight that the Summit produced was real similar.
Okay, are there any other questions for Gwinnell before we go on? Tim, I think you're muted.
Here we go. There we go. Now it says mute. Can you hear me?
Yes.
No? Okay. Gwinnell, I was disappointed when you didn't pick Caprice. You've got that amethyst cream and sugar set, and there's like, no, you can't that's got to be the best.
You mean that right there?
Yes, that's it right there. I've never seen that before. I'm just amazed. Thank you.
Okay. Well, with that, we'll go on to the show and tell portion. So with that being said, we'll start with Mark Voss, followed by the checks on deck. You're still muted, Mark.
Gotcha. Hello, everyone. Well, I really only have one. It's a special one, though. My maternal grandparents really didn't go in for a lot of nice glassware, but from my father's side of the family, my parents inherited some things from them, and it was assortment of things: a candlewick tray, a couple of pieces of Heisey orchid, and a couple of pieces of Cambridge apple blossom in crystal. So it's about 4 or 5 pieces. And whenever we would have a special dinner or event, eating event, this is what I always, and this was long before I knew anything about glass, I would always just open the china cabinet and pull this out and set it on the table, because it was my favorite of that group of glassware that my parents inherited. So that's the only one I had. Well, sort of. I decided I wanted to see if I could collect a few more colors in it. So I've got gold crystal. It doesn't have gold on it, Jim and Janice, but it's still nice. And peach blow. So I have the cream and the sugar in that. I don't have the match for the sugar and the crystal, but I have seen the sugar undecorated in amber, light emerald, I think forest green, and probably maybe another color or two. In terms of etchings in the catalog, the 30, 31, 34 catalog, they show it in the catalog decorated in apple blossom, Gloria, and a cutting. I think it's 541. So I've not seen, and then I think I've seen a picture of it decorated with wildflower. I assume it was early wildflower, but I think this sugar kind of disappeared by 1940. I don't know of any other etchings. I'd be curious to know if anybody has seen this with any other etchings besides apple blossom or Gloria. Maybe I've not seen a Gloria one, but it's in the catalog. And again, there's one cutting that supposedly in the catalog that supposedly was offered. So that's mine.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate that. It's always nice when we like one pattern, so we have to have it in every color. So it's always nice. So next, we will go with the checks, and then we will put Joanne and Dad on deck.
We've found a few individual sets, which I think Gwinnell probably already has shown these, but I think the little modern, I think it's just such a neat pattern. It's so deco looking with the little triangles. We have some footed tumblers in that pattern too. And then this is the Martha, I think the moonlight blue set, the little individual. I think we have it also in forest green with the tray. And then I like we both like the gold encrusted, the little gadroon wildflower gold encrusted set. And also the version in, I think this is pristine. And again, a little individual. I found a few pieces. It looks gold encrusted, looks nice in fall. We just found a little bud vase when I was looking for the for sugars and creamers today. So that's out for the fall display. And then our two favorite really etches are Candlelight and Gloria. So I got the 3400 and the Candlelight. And then the light emerald Gloria. Yeah.
Very pretty.
I just love this etch and I love the color. That's it.
Well, thank you so much. I think we all like the little individuals. They're just so adorable. And,
Yeah.
you know, they fit easily in the case too. But I was obviously very envious of Gwinnell's Fernland children's sets. So I have Fernland always out for the holidays, and I really like the blue one she had. So that was awesome. Well, thank you for that. And next we'll go on to Joanne, and we will put Les on deck.
Okay, so I don't know if we can see this. Oh, okay. So we have the cascade in the yellow, gold crystal, whatever, mandarin, I don't know. But Julie, you'll like this one. So here's a Farberware in amber. It has the label on it. And we have the little spoon with the holder. There, can you see it good?
Oh, yes. And
And
I'm
then
quite envious of that one.
This one with the set, so we just got it out. Little ball jug. And that's it for us today.
Well, thank you. I am in search of the tray or the sugar holder because I have the set in Chantilly, and I've yet to find the little
holder.
Oh, yes. Yes. I'm quite envious of that. So
It's sweet, isn't it?
yes. Thank you so much for that. And Gwinnell, going back to you, do you have anything in Farber?
I do. I've got that amber set, and I've got the milk glass in Farber. I didn't show those. I just kind of ran out of things to show.
Now, do you have them in the silver Farber, or do you have them also in the gold Farber?
I think they're silver. The silver.
Silver. Okay. I was wondering, I wonder if she has them in Farber. So thank you for that. And thank you, Joanne. All right. Next, we're on to Les, and we will put Bill on deck.
Okay. So for the ones that joined early, I mentioned that I scoured my collection for sugars and creamers, and I struck out except for one piece. So it's not in my collecting categories. However, I do have this one piece, and it's the 3400 line. And the reason I have it, it's because of the unusual color. So it's an experimental color. 3400 line, I think, was introduced in about 1933 or thereabouts. And this color would be fairly close to ivory, which was a color from the 1920s. So I don't know why, but for some reason, there's a lot of experimental colors on the 3400 line, creamers and sugars, cups and saucers in particular. So apparently this was a mold or a line, and a few molds within the line that they like to experiment with different colors. So that's it, Julie, just the one piece.
Well, thank you, Les. We know you can't collect everything, so we'll give you a pass this month, okay? So beautiful piece, though. Very, very beautiful piece. So thank you for sharing with us. Next, we have Bill, and we'll put Tim on deck.
Okay, can you hear me?
Sure can.
And okay, here's my first two. See if I can get them up there. Cambridge Moonlight Caprice in the larger size. I have Decagon, and I believe it's
Very good.
Dianthus.
Keep them a little higher there so we can see them.
Okay, how's that?
Oh, perfect.
And I believe that's Dianthus Pink. And then I have the Near Cut 2631 Marjorie in the individual size.
Mm-hmm.
And then just to kind of show something that Gwinnell had showed that I didn't think was going to be up. The very first cream and sugar we bought back in the 80s was this New Martinsville set. And I had been told by the vendor that it was actually Cambridge Caprice. And it was after I got it and found out that it wasn't that I joined Cambridge collectors group so that I could become a little bit more educated so that I didn't end up buying something that was misdirected. Very similar in color to Moonlight, but it's certainly not the same. So that's all I've got.
Well, it's still beautiful.
Oh, it
Still
is.
pretty.
I keep them in the same
Mhm.
same cabinet. They look nice together.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you for sharing so much with us, Bill. I appreciate that. And next we have Tim, and we will put, I'm debating here. I think we're going to go to Jack afterwards.
He's the same size.
Okay, guys, this is the Cambridge Caprice Moonlight Blue with silver overlay on it. It also has a satin finish. We have, and this is in the large size. We have the same with the creamer. That's that. See, it's satin in the inside is where they satinized it. Fortunately, the same year we found this one, which is Moonlight Blue with the silver overlay, and it's not satinized. They're just absolutely beautiful. We also have the creamer that goes with that. We were talking about Summit made Caprice from their molds. This is a Summit, and it has like an iridized look to it. It has like the carnival look on the outside. And we found this set in Burlington, Iowa. We knew that they were not a Cambridge set, but we knew they came from the mold. Grab that black light. And what we right here, honey. What we really like about these.
Mhm.
Oh gosh, it's not really showing on the camera. It does in here. It's doing on the back side. Come back here. Try it from the front. Well, I can't get them to show. Like they just glow and they're beautiful. Now, the same store that we bought those had this one, which it doesn't have that iridized look to it, but it also glows with a black light. They're really pretty under black light. And next, you were showing, we looked up in the book and we found this set with a handle. And thought, well, gosh, why is this one got a different base to it? So kept looking, and Nancy found that was called a 1215/196 that came with that other base you was referring to a while ago. Go now. That's a really pretty little set. This is signed.
Many of them were.
Then this set, I think you did show this pattern. This is gold encrusted and it's etched in there. And it also has the gold painted on the handle. It has a band around the bottom. That's the creamer. Sugar is the same way. It has a really beautiful little, can you guys see the double strike on the handle with the gold?
Yes.
That's just and then to top it off, it sits in this tray.
Mhm.
And it also has some very pretty etch or painting of the gold there on the handles. You were showing the decalware a minute ago. I don't know why. Charlie Upton had a whole big set of this stuff, and I didn't think it was anything I'd ever want to collect. And somewhere along the line, I bought a piece or two of Charlie's decalware. Nobody ever bought it, and I bought the rest of it off of him. And it grows on you. Some of the decalware wears pretty bad. You'll find that out there that it's in good shape. But I have to show you this. The little decal where this is the ashtray. And Len Welker saw me one day and he says, "Have you got that?" I said, "No, what is it?" He said, "What's an ashtray?" He said, "I don't know that I've ever seen one before." So that sets in the same cabinet with it. Everglade with the leafy bottom and amber. And we have cream and sugar in that also. I might grab that ebony set. The ebony is just a really neat set. We've got a vase, a leaded crystal vase sitting right here on our counter that has a lot of the cullet that we got from the dump, and it has a lot of the glass that radiates when you put the black light on it, sitting on a black riser, and it's just it's really neat together. So then my wife wants me to do this. I was begging her to do this presentation herself. There's one of your children's dishes, and this is in the Colonial line, and I guess it would be cobalt blue. That would be the time frame. Is that right? Not royal blue. Okay. And then that's the creamer. She also has the sugar. Or is this the toothpick?
No, it's the sugar.
This one's the sugar.
Or a
Okay.
spooner.
Or a spooner. Which is it, Gwinnell?
I'm not sure. I have to look in the catalog.
Okay.
With the jagged edge on it's probably the spooner.
Okay. And then we had that complete set of the blue that you were showing in the cobalt blue kit set too, but we're not showing it tonight. And this is the Fernland and the green in the children's set. It came with the covered
sugar.
Covered sugar. And then it also came with the is that a butter? Covered butter. And if you held these three together, bring that back up there if you can, honey. The covered, again, the colors are not all very uniform. So the green covered is a little different shade of green. There's still a beautiful set.
And then this one is the one they call either sweetheart, strawberry, or pineapple.
My wife says this one is either called strawberry, sweetheart, or pineapple. And
I think it's a sweetheart.
okay.
Sweetheart.
Then there's this one. What's this one, Nancy?
That's a covered sugar.
This is a covered sugar. And what pattern's it?
It's the same.
That's the same.
Sweetheart.
Okay.
And then creamer and sugar in the sweetheart.
And then cream and sugar in the sweetheart.
That the jagged edge on the double handle is the spooner.
Oh,
okay.
All right.
It'll be the spooner. And then the cream.
All right.
Okay.
One thing I found interesting in the Cambridge catalogs, they called them creams and didn't call them creamers.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's just almost consistent through the whole series of catalogs. They're called cream. Sometimes you'll find tankard, but most of them are cream.
Great. Thank you for your wealth of information, dear.
Well, thank you. You're welcome. It's been fun.
Yes, it has. Thank you. That's all we had to show.
All right. Well, thank you. And always great to see you. You showed some silver overlay. So of course I got to go back to Gwinnell and say, Gwinnell, do you have silver overlay?
No, and I'm envious.
Okay. So very interesting. So, well, thank you for sharing that with us, Tim and Nancy, and really appreciate that as always. We look forward to seeing you in Cambridge. So next we'll go to Jack and we'll put David on deck.
Okay, thank you, Julie. I just have a few to show, but I was going to do it by sharing screen, and I remember I did this not correct. What's the good way to do this, if you could advise me here? Share first and then bring up the picture, is that it?
Normally you bring up the pictures and then you share so that you can just go from one to one to one. But
okay.
if you want me to come, okay, you got it ready?
Well, we'll see here. I'm going to hit share screen and do you have it up on the screen now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's see if I can scroll through this. Well, this is the number 490 cream and sugar. This is in Rabina. Of course, they only made this for probably a year and a half at best, maybe 1925 into 1926. So there's only a few of these that are known, but the ones that are you see have great color. I've never seen a sugar and creamer set in Rabina that didn't have really nice color. So it was good. Okay, so how do I go?
There should be a little arrow that as you were going toward it, you kind of had it down here. There should be an
Yeah.
arrow if you move your pointer.
I can't get this. What's the problem is I can't get it off the screen at the bottom part. Huh. This is the problem I had before, I think. Because there's normally arrows over here.
Yeah,
Let me
when you
see.
had your pointer over there, the arrow did come up.
Where, over here?
Yeah, a little further.
Click on the picture.
I don't have it. I don't see any arrow here. Huh.
Do you have the little box at the bottom?
Yeah, but
Click
it's
on the
covered
next
up.
click
It's
on the
covered
next.
up by a thing that says screen share, so I can't get to it. That's really strange. That's what my problem is. Let me see
Click
if
there.
I can. I can't click on it. Okay, let me do this.
Jack, when
Yeah.
you had your arrow down there, it was highlighting the next picture. Did you double click to see if that
What do you see now?
the original picture of the
Oh, you
Rabina
do,
and then
huh? Okay.
and then the thing at the bottom with 4 more pictures.
Right. See, I can't get to that because it's
Click
covered
on it.
up with a notice that says I'm screen sharing. So
Right, but when you had your arrow down there, try clicking right now.
Click now.
Okay, it's showing. There you go.
Okay. See, I tried that before. It wouldn't work that for me. Okay.
That's
Well,
why
whatever.
that's why I was wondering if you needed to double click or something on it.
Yeah. Okay. We'll try this. I only have a few and hopefully I can get through this. I apologize. So this is one I think that Gwinnell showed already. This is the individual pristine that are etched magnolia. So I'll scroll. You've already seen that one. Let's see. I can't.
Oh, you were just on it. Go back and
Click
double
now.
double click.
now.
There we go. Okay, that worked. This is the Weatherford Cream and Sugar and Peach Blow. And this is going to give you a little taste of Saturday's program. This is cut 884. And what's interesting, this question has been asked a number of times. What's the difference between a cutting and an engraving? Cambridge predominantly, I'll answer that now for those of you who won't be here Saturday, but Cambridge predominantly used the term engraving, but for a short time in the early 1920s, they used the term cutting. Why? Do not know. So this was cut number 884. Now,
Double click right there. Double click.
I can't. There we go. We got it. Okay. This is the Decagon 867 cream and sugar in willow blue. What's interesting about this is rock crystal engraved 534. So RCE number 534. And I reversed the piece. So the sugar shows the flower kind of on the left side there, and then the creamer shows like a leaf, and both pieces have each one on one side and one on the other. But I just thought it was very interesting how the technique they used to do the leaf part, where they kind of really cut that off and then put the little integral things in there. So I thought that was pretty neat. So okay, and then one more, please work. Lots of Elaine creamer and sugars in the collection, but this is a pretty special one for us. It's the only set we've ever seen in Elaine. It's the 3439 sugar shaker and the 3440 footed cream. So we didn't even get those together. We had the sugar shaker first, and we thought we'd never find the cream. And then lo and behold, 4 months later at Glass Dash, Frank Wallenhop comes up with a footed cream and yells at me across the room, Thompson! And there it was. So anyway, that's a pretty special thing in our collection. And that is it. So,
all right.
thank you very much.
Yeah, well, thank you, Jack. And as you showed, hey, even everyone gets lucky once in a while, and especially when you can't find one thing, you might it all of a sudden just comes out of nowhere. So that is really a spectacular set, and the sugar shaker and the cream are really lovely. So,
and I just remembered, I gave the wrong thing. It was actually Lisa Strebler that yelled at me. Frank Wallema had it, but Lisa's the one that yelled at me from across the room she secured it for me. So I'm forever in her debt there.
And obviously the first set was wonderful as well. The color is absolutely beautiful, as you said. So, in the Amberina set, so beautiful. Okay, so next we have David, and then I'm going to put Mike on deck. Well, actually, before Mike, I am going to put, they've told me they're a super sugar and creamer collector, so I am going to put before Mike, DM Curtis.
All right, Julie, thank you. Jack, just to go back to your Willow Blue Decagon set, I've seen that engraving cutting on a few different pieces over the years, and the leaf almost looks like it was sandblasted to me. Like they had like a stencil and they sandblasted that leaf, and from there they went back into the leaf and cut the individual detail out of that.
That would make perfect sense, and particularly in the time period, in that late 20, early 30 time period, Cambridge was doing, or at least purported to do, some sandblasting on things. I mean, it's in the records and stuff. We don't know what was going on with that, so that could very well how they did that. That makes a lot of sense.
All right. Well, I don't have a lot of cream and sugars in my collection, and for some reason, I don't know what happened to my camera, but I guess my virus software came up, and maybe it didn't like my camera. So I think I'm back on the old camera now. I have one Amber Pear set of cream and sugar. This is the 3400 line, and it has a numbered etching, which resembles what you would call a nasturtium plant if you have flowers in your flower bed in the summer. It's really cool. This early style of the 3400, I've compared it to many other ones you see in Rose Point and Elaine and Wildflower. It has a little extra design down here on the foot, and that was very common to Cambridge. They would kind of go all out with the original mold, and then as they would come back, they seem to tweak it a little bit. I'm sorry these aren't as clear as I would like, but it's just a great set. I've saw one recently on eBay in pink, a pink set, and they were very popular with collectors. Gwinnell showed several trays, and I would say for probably every cream and sugar set you probably see about 10 sets for every one tray. And this is a tray that has the Rose Point design. It's pretty cool how they managed to put the design in there. And this is kind of a universal tray that was used for many things. Obviously, with the Rose Point etching in the bottom, it would take a 3900 line cream and sugar with the Rose Point etching. But the etched trays are quite tricky to find. I've seen them in Wildflower and Rose Point. And maybe that's it. I don't know. Jack, I don't know if you found one in Elaine, but with the etch, to find the etching on the bottom of the tray, it's quite unusual. Sometimes they were just sold with the plain tray. If the set was etched, they didn't necessarily have to go on a tray with the matching etching. That's all I've got this evening, Julie, and I'll talk a little bit more about upcoming programs when we're finished.
All right. Well, thank you, David. And that's a lovely nasturtium set, as well as if you find that tray in Chantilly, pick me. So I've yet to find Chantilly's all over the board and creamers and sugars. So it's weird. I have decalware and I've got all the way to whatever, but that tray and Chantilly would be awesome. So next I'm going to have DM Curtis, and then I'm going to finish off with Mr. Strebler. So DM, are you there? I see you. I'm going to ask you to unmute. You're still muted. Oh, there you are. Okay.
Sorry, I literally am trying to switch between a computer into a laptop that I really don't have totally set up. So I apologize for that. I just got this and haven't been using it. So normally I can't speak at all. And I also apologize. I don't have all of my materials. I wasn't really planning on it. I did send in a picture if you have that.
Oh, I must have missed it. Keep talking. I'll find it.
Okay. I actually sent a message to Grinnell. I'd love to chat with you at some point. I do have quite a few creamers and sugars, probably well over 1,000, but not just Cambridge, obviously. I have, my main focus would be Fostoria probably, but I just love creamers and sugars and would dip into Tiffin and Duncan Miller and Newfoundlandsville. And like I said, I wasn't quite as picky. I just liked getting them. And I hate to say my favorites were always the colored pieces that are etched. And I'm out in California, so those are kind of hard to come by, but it was a way of trying to start to limit my zealousness in collecting.
Okay. You can keep speaking. I'm going to put these at the end of a PowerPoint I have. So what, can you tell us a little bit more about your collection?
I have a lot. I do not focus quite as much on the older stuff, except for some of the Fostoria. I also have some of the older Fenton. Sorry to whoever it was, I just don't really do a lot of cuttings and engravings because they frustrate me because they are off a little bit. And then you don't have them quite matchy, and somehow that doesn't set with me. So I tend to stick to etchings. I also went through a phase where I had, and I thought it was Martha Washington. You have to excuse me because I haven't been able to get hold of my books because I moved and everything's in storage. But I thought they were the kind of heftier ones, and they were in milk glass. And I knew I had 3 sizes. So sometimes I would do like for, I want to say education. I belong to the glass group out in California, and I'd be like, here's the 3 of these, or here you see how they change. And like I said, I just collect creamers and sugars. I actually took over part of my garage and put one whole wall with cabinets on it so I could display it.
Very nice. Okay. Well, I will come back to your set if you give me a second. And in the meantime, we will go over, do you have anything else to tell us about your collection? Otherwise, I'll go to Mr. Strebler, and that'll give me time to put your pictures into a PowerPoint. Okay?
No, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. All right. So, Mr. Strebler, you're up.
Julie, can you hear us?
I can.
Okay. We don't collect sugars and creamers as such. We have various collections that have sugars and creamers. So I took the roll cart around and rolled it and filled it up with all the different things I could find. I will start out with I'll wait on that, but we collect royal blue. That's one of ours. So I'll start with some of those pieces. This would be Mount Vernon, sugar and creamer in royal blue. I'll put them back there. Okay. This I think we saw in Grinnell, and we love this shape. This is Nautilus in royal blue. We love these. Okay. The 3400 sugar and creamer balls. Those are pretty cool. We like those. Well, we like it all. That's why we collected it. So I won't offer that other than. Okay. I'm banging stuff here. Tally ho in royal blue. And we're gonna see a little more tally ho here. They seem to, there's a lot of sugars and creamers and tally ho that fit in our collections. Okay. 3400 in royal blue. Now, an interesting thing is, 34.
Yeah.
Is I've never seen the individual sugars and creamers in 34. I'd be interested if anybody's ever seen an individual sugar and creamer in 3400. No response yet. Okay. And another collector observation. This is 3500 royal blue sugar and creamer. And we've never seen these in the regular size. So in 3400, we've never seen the individuals. In 3500, we've never seen the big ones. In royal blue, I think I brought a pair somewhere. Maybe it's etched or something, but anyway, that's what we brought. And then I have one more piece in royal blue. And we saw this piece earlier in Farber. And I'm sure it does come in Farber. But then I have this in royal blue with the crystal handle. And it does have all the darts on it. It's 3400 looking. I don't know that I've seen this in a collection or in any of the research materials. So I don't know if this came out of a Farber piece and it was just made for Farber, or whether it was part of the 3400 line. David, do you have an opinion? Usually you do.
I believe that was made specifically for Farber and probably also for Sheffield, because I've seen the crystal ones in etched Chantilly in a silver holder that is not a chrome holder, but a silver holder that does tarnish and can be polished.
Okay, so this one's in our collection. We don't have metal in our collection. So maybe this got stripped out, but it fits in nicely for us. And after that, I'm going to hand it off to Lisa for some of the things she collects.
Hi, everybody. I collect Demitasse cups. And so the little individuals sometimes find their way to my Demitasse case. So just a few things I want to share. And most of these are the, I think it's pronounced moderne. Am I saying that right? So here we have light emerald. And we have crystal. We have peach blue or pink. Love these. And Moonlight Blue or Willow Blue. And I also have the pinks that have, it looks like a little applied decal. I'm not sure it's going to show up here.
We can see it.
Not to be confused with the other decal wear that we've seen earlier. I also have a Singleton Amber cream. Need to find the sister creamer that goes with it. And I love this set. This one's got a label on it. This is Pristine, I believe, right, Mike? Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. Again, these just fit so nicely with my Dematas case. Here's something that's small and different. Martha Washington milk glass. And again, in the, these are individuals as well. We also have this in the large, but I like these little individual things. Is that all I'm showing, Mike?
No.
Yep. Okay. Shift change.
Shift change. Okay, we have a collection of gold encrusted Portia. And again, the same issue with the individual sugar and creamer. Hold them up here. For some reason they look yellow now. I don't know why. But they're gold encrusted and it's on a crystal blank. But again, they're only on the individual and not on the a large size. So if you got the large size, let me know.
In gold encrusted Portia.
In gold encrusted Portia. And then again, the same thing with the 3400 gold encrusted Portia. We find it on the large sugar and creamer, but not an individual size on 3400. Same thing as with the Royal Blues. A comment on the, we've seen this before. This is the Seashell line, sugar and creamer. And the thing I wanted to say on this for collectors is that it only comes in crystal. Well, we have Seashell line in all the different colors, but only the sugar and creamer only come in crystal and Seashell. Then we have some etches, some oddball etches. We also have a collection of yield ivy. I don't know if you can see the edge. I gotta wait until the big.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's the edge. And that's just an odd etch that we collect, and it's on Tally Ho. And then I got this. And then also we have it. This is a little harder to find. This is gold encrusted yield ivy on Tally Ho sugar and creamer. And to keep rolling with Tally Ho, this is, I don't know what they call this decoration. We just call it gold band on Tally Ho. And this is one of our primary collections. This is the Yukon etch sugar and creamer on Tally Ho. And here's a Singleton, and this is Tally Ho, and it's frosted. I'm not sure how they frosted this thing on the inside, I think. But the outside's real smooth. It's not like it's etched or anything, but while we're doing sugars and creamers, I thought I'd bring that one. And that's the end of Tally Ho. I don't think I'm going to do cuttings. I brought a whole bunch of cuttings, but we'll save that. Lisa wants me to do this one next. We haven't seen this one yet tonight. This is out of the round line. This is the willow edge blue enamel filled with gold trim. And we have a collection of this. So I pulled that out of that. And maybe the, why don't you do the opaques? I'll let Lisa do a couple of opaques for us here.
Azurite, these are bigger than the little individuals, but I'm not sure if they are still considered individuals. Gwinnell, would you be in on that? Are those still considered individuals?
Looking at the size in your hand, they look like they might be the early individuals.
Okay.
Or it was in the
they certainly look very, very old.
yeah, because they used that shape when they came back out in pristine.
Yeah. Okay. And then these in azurite as well. And Pomona green.
Ooh, nice.
Gwinnell's ready to come shopping with her shopping cart over to your house.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I think that's all the opaques I have. Mike.
Do these.
Yeah. All right, you can tell me what to do. Okay, this is called Silver Maple Leaf. I don't know if you can see the.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That's
Lisa, when we're handling glass, we say no clanking.
well, we've
Yeah.
we've clanked a plenty in our house.
Yeah, okay.
And we've got a boatload of cuttings, but I mean, in the interest of time, I'm gonna
We'll save those.
we'll pass
did we do
that.
this? No.
Oh, Lisa's got one
I got
here.
one more on a tray. Gold encrusted columbine.
Oh, nice.
Just making notes.
Yeah. With the tray.
No clanking.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we do have one more piece Lisa's gonna show you.
Oh, yeah.
This is our last one.
Yeah, this one needs a sister too. Carmen Bordeaux, gold encrusted. We've had it a long time. Never seen the sister for it. Yeah.
Very
Truly
nice.
stunning. Okay,
So that's it.
that's it.
Well, thank you. Beautiful pieces, absolutely beautiful pieces. And I think we all will now start searching for Bordeaux gold encrusted. But
Good luck
yeah, good luck with that one. I know. I think Gwinnell was taking notes as you were showing some things, because I think next time she comes to Ohio, she wants parting gifts. Right, Gwinnell?
Oh yeah.
You're more than
Yeah.
welcome to visit, Gwinnell.
Yeah, beautiful pieces, beautiful pieces. Thank you so much for opening your collection up to us. And like I said, I need to bring my shopping cart to your house as well. So anyway, thank you so much for that. Appreciate it much. I am going to share my screen now, and hopefully, let me find what I want here. That's what I want right there. Okay, Donna, you're back up. Hopefully you can see this. Let me see. Can you share? Can you see it? Everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there we go. Big screen.
No. Okay, I'm sorry, I couldn't find where to unmute. This also is missing its mate. The color I was not sure about just because there's like an iridized finish to that. And I thought I found something in the Colors of Cambridge book, but I don't have access to my book because that's in storage too. But I just thought it was really interesting. Like I said, my weakness is etchings, so I've got quite a few of those. So that was something I had a picture of handy because I keep it in my must be found category.
Yeah.
So that's about all I can share on that.
All right. Well, thank you. And hopefully next time around on Creamers and Sugars, you'll have everything unboxed. So we look
Oh,
forward
the
to
problem
this.
is there's about 50 boxes, boxes. And like I said, it's quite a bit. And but hopefully I'll be able to get to it and maybe be able to share next time. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Okay, next we're going to move on. And I saw Jeannie was on. So Jeannie, would you like to speak a little bit about your Creamers and Sugars?
Well, Freeman just got in from his other meeting, so I don't know what has already been shown.
Well, we'll just start from scratch, Freeman. I'm going to try to move this up so it's out of the way. There we go.
Well, you're looking at near cut, and these are, I would say these are the large sets. They're not individual piece servings. They're just the full size. But the other thing I wanted to pick on was the sugars have lids. Okay, except for the sunburst on the lower right, it's missing its lid or cover. So some nice examples here of the near cut line. Next page.
Okay. Give me a second here. Sometimes with photos, it takes a second. There we go.
And the top, I think everyone is probably familiar with the wild rose from a punch bowl point of view. Well, not only is there the wild rose punch bowl, but there's also serving pieces, bowls, glasses, pitcher, cream and sugar. And the cream and sugar is considered the cut wild rose. So they've actually taken the pattern and cut on top of it. Similar at the bottom, I have the 4200 cut and uncut. So what you're looking at the bottom left, you can kind of see the frosted area on the sugar in the back. That's where it has been cut. Compared to on the right is pretty much just the way it came out of the mold. Sort of a pressed effect. So I think it's neat to have those two sets, a before and an after effect. Then continue with the lids, but just now getting to a little more color. The 929 creamer, the 930 sugar. Also the star, back in the near cut line. And then I included the pink Stratford, which is kind of interesting, the creamer. And yes, that's a sugar. It's not a sherbet. Someone said, oh, it's got to be a sherbet. Nope, it's listed as the sugar, no lid. And I put that one in as pink Stratford, pretty much as a transition into Mount Vernon, which I assumed Joanne and Clyde were on and showed Mount Vernon. No. You didn't see any Mount Vernon?
No.
Somebody must be showing Mount Vernon.
Sorry.
Mike showed some, I think.
Oh yeah, sorry, Mike. I missed part of it because I was putting some pictures together.
Okay. And this is just the last of the near cut items I had. 2729, which is more than, not as large as the others. The Dorothy, which has got a footed approach to it. Guernsey, which is to me, it's a simple but elegant pattern, again with the lid. And Gwinnell would have shown an example of the Fernland child set. So the lower right, is really kind of scaled down to like what, 1.5 inches tall or something. So that's the child set. That's all I provided, the old stuff.
The old stuff. It's always good to see the old stuff.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so with that being said, did we miss anyone? No. Okay, so thank you everyone for sharing. Obviously, it makes seeing everybody's glass spectacular and just so informative, Gwinnell. Thank you again. It was a wonderful program. I really appreciate it. We all appreciate it. We all gained a lot of knowledge, I believe, in tonight's program. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to David to kind of tell you what's coming up in the future.
All right. Thank you again, Julie. And a big thanks to Gwinnell for putting her program together. The last couple of programs in PowerPoints, which I feel like there's some pressure on me this month to do a PowerPoint presentation on vases. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. I might just show some vases live like I typically do. So that is the theme for November. That's November 14th. So check your cases out for vases. I think vases are going to be an interesting program in that the show and tell portion of it, there's so many different vases and so many different sizes with so many different decorations and various colors going all the way back to the near cut era, all the way up into the reopen period in the 50s. So this is a huge program. I don't know how much I'm going to do on the education side of it, but it's going to be more about a show and tell the various sizes, shapes, colors, decorations on the various vases that Cambridge made. In November, we're going to be doing items with lids, and Jack Thompson's going to be leading that program. So anything that has a lid, it could be a sugar bowl, it could be a candy, it could be a sweetmeat, it could be an urn. Anything that takes a lid is fair game for the December program, which is on December 19th. So we are working on the programming for 2024. We've got ideas floating around, and I'll be able to share some of those with you at the November program of Zoom and Tell. Well, Julie, that's all I got this evening, and thank you for hosting tonight and for everyone who shared their glassware this evening.
Yes, thank you. And hopefully we will see everybody next month. And again, start digging for those items. So we love to see what you share with us, and we love to see you every month. And we hope you can come back next month and see us again. So with that, I'm going to bid adieu to everyone. I'm going to give one final thanks to Gwinnell and to everyone that shared their glass. Spectacular program tonight. And we hope that you tell your friends to join us on the next session. So with that, thank you, everyone, and have a great evening.